Hey, this is Jerry Akin at Pierce Chapel. Thank you for joining me for this week's midweek meditation. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." Now, this is a confusing statement to many for a few reasons. First of all, he was probably talking to a group of people who weren't very wealthy anyway. So what was the need? What was the point of even saying something like that? Well, Jesus wasn't talking about physical wealth, materialistically being wealthy or poor. That's why he says poor in spirit. So that brings us to another confusing thing. Shouldn't we want to be spiritually rich? Why would we be blessed if we're spiritually poor? Well, let's hang on to the analogy of materialistic things. If you are physically wealthy, then you lack nothing, right? Anything you want, you can just reach out and get. You have an abundance of stuff. But if you're spiritually rich, and that means maybe you have an abundance of stuff filling your heart, filling your life. If you're physically poor, you know what you need. Not what you want, not all these other things that you want to acquire. You know what you need, and you're desperate for it. If you're spiritually poor, you know what you need, and you're desperate for it. All the other stuff that clutters our heart, clutters our mind, clutters the soul, it's been stripped away, and you are focused on, this is my need. This is the thing that I'm pursuing to make my spiritual ends meet. So that's what Jesus is saying. Those who are spiritually to the point where all the other stuff doesn't matter, all the things that take precedent and priority in our heart that shouldn't be there, when it's all been stripped away, and you recognize the deep need for God, the deep need for His truth, when you have a deep hunger for what you absolutely need spiritually, that's when you'll be blessed. That's when you will truly become rich spiritually, because you will be seeking and craving what you need above all else. And Jesus says when you're at that point, that's when you're blessed. So let's strip away all the clutter. Whatever is taking up space in our heart and our mind, whatever it is that we think we need that is not essential to our spiritual growth, let's let it fall by the wayside. And let's recognize our deep need, our desperation, our hunger for Jesus Christ, for the will of God, for His truth, for His love, for His grace and mercy. When we get to that point, that's when we can rely on God to bless us abundantly.